Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Mark from the new wave of traditional heavy metal. I am here with Oskar Jacobsson from the band Ambush, and we are here to talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. So, why don't we just go ahead and get started? Um, Oskar, we were just talking, and you told me something that was just fascinating. Um, can you go back and just rewind a little bit? Can you pronounce your name in Swedish for me?
Oh yeah, that's a hard one. I have a problem pronouncing it myself sometimes. Uh, Oskar Jacobsson. That's the Swedish pronunciation, but Jacobsson is international, so let's go with that.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I'll just call you Oscar if that helps and
perfect.
if that works out for you.
Perfect,
So,
bro.
exciting times. We have Evil in All Dimensions releasing tomorrow. It's a
Yeah,
new album from you guys. It's your first new album, I believe, in 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah,
So,
something like that.
tell me a little bit about how this album came together. How did you guys get the writing process started?
Yeah, so when we released our third album, Infidel, right after, I mean, we played one release show and then the COVID lockdown came. So we could just play one gig and then everything shut down and all the tours got delayed. Everything pretty much got delayed and we didn't know what to do and we didn't know for how many years is this going to be a problem. We didn't know back then. And so we actually started writing material for this album already back then. So the writing process has been quite long for this record. Um, the new members, Carl and Oscar, they've been new into the songwriting for this as well. Um, and we all contributed with riffs and ideas for every song on the album. So the whole band united in that way. We've been very excited to work in a new way with this record because we feel like we are a band where everything comes together, all the influences from all the band members come together in a beautiful way on this album. So as opposed to before, where only a couple of guys wrote the riffs and the rest maybe came with some ideas here and there, but on this record we all contributed somewhat equally,
So
which
tell
is
me a
nice.
little bit more about that. How does the process of a song start? Is one of you riffing and are you recording stuff and are you kind of trading the files or sending them along, or are you guys all in a room together putting songs together that way, or does you guys getting together come later on?
Yeah, it can go either way actually. Sometimes it starts with the lyrics. Maybe there's a lyric that you want to put a melody to,
Mhm.
some guitar riff to, but most often it's the riff that comes first. Obviously, I mean it's heavy metal, so
Yep.
usually someone plays on a guitar like a riff. Yeah, this is something that we can work with, and then we record something like a first version of the song, and then a melody pops up, and then we progress from there, and we keep on building and changing some stuff. We on this record we did it together, and we tried to keep the. It's like always when you have opinions about other people's riffs or other people's ideas, it's pretty sensitive because it's almost like someone is beating up your child in a way.
Yeah.
We are honest in this band, which I'm very thankful to, and we try not to have too much prestige on who wrote what. We are a band. That's what counts. We write it together. Most that's how I want it to be.
Bands are a real interesting thing. And there are bands that sort of thrive on maybe a little bit of that tension, or there are bands that maybe sort of thrive on kind of the brotherhood, right? The
Yeah.
sort of poking fun at each other or having that honesty. Tell me a little bit about sort of the culture of the band, and especially since you've got a couple of new members, how do you bring people into that?
Yeah, so when we started the band back in 2012, somewhere around that, we were all friends. Like we hung out together, we drank beer and listened to Judas Priest and Accept and Iron Maiden and all these bands, and we all played in small bands, like, but we didn't play together and
Hmm.
we didn't play traditional heavy metal. So one day we decided to start a band, and Olaf already had written some songs because he had this on his mind. So he is pretty much the mother. In the beginning of the band, he was like the mother that
Yep.
provided the songs and stuff like this. And we thought that this is the way a band must be. I mean, we must be like a family. We must be friends. We must take care of each other's health. If anyone has a problem, we will be there. And if someone can't, okay, I can't join today, guys, because I need to drive my mother to the hospital or something like that. We pay attention to each other, and this is good. And with the new two band members, it's the same because we Burning Fire, the guy with the mustache on bass, he was a friend of the band, and we knew him. So we partied together many times, before he joined the band. So we knew instantly that he would be a good guy to have in a band. He's a brilliant musician. He checks all the boxes, so
Hmm.
that was a no-brainer. With Carl, we didn't know him before, but we had mutual friends that said that he is a humble, nice guy, and he plays guitar like Yngwie Malmsteen. And we're like, okay.
Yeah, that's
Of
a
course,
good thing.
everyone can play guitar like Yngwie Malmsteen in their bedroom when they are like.
Yeah,
Uh, but we played the first gig with Carl without rehearsing, and he came on stage and blew the fucking place apart. So
nice.
from that moment on, he was in the band, and he's a great guy, humble guy. Um, Musically, he's brilliant, and but we have to drag out ideas from him because he's so humble, doesn't want to show off.
That's interesting. Hey,
Yeah.
something about your sound, the twin guitar, you're a five-piece. There's something that's just very powerful and something that stands out. The title track, Evil in All Dimensions. I was watching the video earlier. Just powerful vocals, just great sound. Everything comes together. But I think the defining thing is that twin guitar that you have going on. The way that you trade that off and the way that it comes together is great. So that leads me to a question. Um, what are the bands? You guys all kind of come from different backgrounds, but metal is this sort of universal thing when it comes to influences. But what are some of the bands that have influenced you?
Uh, Easy answer: Judas Priest, Accept. These two bands were the most important for us. In the beginning, when we started the band, it was what united us and our influences. So, especially when we rehearsed, we listened a lot to Defenders of the Faith album by Judas Priest, and I mean, these memories from the rehearsal when we had all our friends packed in a small rehearsal place, and then all of a sudden we're drunk and yeah, now it's time to rehearse. And then we played some ambush songs, and it was almost like having fans,
Yep.
but it was just our friends in the beginning. So we got a taste for what it's like to have an audience even before we started playing shows.
Defenders of
Uh,
the Faith is a very interesting choice because that's not a normal go-to Judas Priest album. I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's obviously not something. I mean, people screaming for vengeance or painkiller
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that. So what about Defenders of the Faith makes it speak to you in terms of influence and sound?
yeah. I mean, it spoke to us because it's 1984, I think. So,
Yeah,
1984 is an interesting year. 1984, 85. The production was a little bit more um, less raw, but more like well produced in a way.
big. It
So
was
if you
big.
compare like British Steel to Defenders of the Faith, Defenders of the Faith has a fucking punch to it.
Hmm.
So that's one aspect. I'm not saying that. I mean, British Steel is my favorite Judas Priest album.
Yep.
But Defenders of the Faith was probably the album that we played the most back in the days. And because it has the party vibe and the aggression, rock hard ride free,
Yep.
when you're a young guy like aiming to play heavy metal, that's the song that you should listen to, be motivated by.
Defenders of the Faith to me got back to sort of the hard rock roots that are definitely there for Priest, where Screaming for Vengeance had some of that, but Screaming for Vengeance got a lot more into the speed and, the higher registers of his voice. You know,
Yeah,
all of those are great albums, but they're sort of very different facets. And the class of 1984 for music, in my opinion, as a writer, unmatched. I mean,
yeah,
Defenders of the Faith, Power Slave, just a whole bunch of records across the spectrums, not even just for metal. We're talking
yeah,
about, new wave or any of those types of things. Just a tremendous year and bleeding over into 85. There
yeah,
was a tremendous amount of music that came out in that time that still to
yeah.
this day remains influential.
And it's weird when you listen to like the Swedish band 220 Volt, for example. They released an album in 85 that is absolutely amazing. I think it's Mind Over Muscle, something like that it's
Something like
called.
that. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. But the first song on that album, The Tower, eh, I mean, the production is like Defenders of the Faith production. And there is between 80 and 85, the difference in production is huge. Something happened
Hmm.
back then that allowed heavy metal to be, I mean, it's more well produced,
Hmm.
but it's not overly produced. So this is what we're aiming for with Ambush in a way now. I mean, we want to go back to the 1985 way of dealing with reverb, and the compression. We're trying not to emulate, but try to add that element because there is something there that is forgotten in modern productions. I think that many mixing guys should go back in time, figure out how the fuck they did it, and then do it right and do it better.
Learn to do it the right way. Well,
Yeah,
again, with the lead track, you guys have hit the mark. I mean, I think it's a great track. It's hard driving, it's very powerful, and everything sounds great. It's exactly like you described. It's that sound. And in that time, I mean, especially if you look at albums like Power Slave, right? It took that Iron Maiden sound and it just made it bigger. It's not anything that's different. It just has more of a fatter feel to the
yeah,
sound. It
yeah.
just has this fidelity. And I think that comes through with what it is that you guys are trying to do. So, staying kind of in the same vein. I, Look, I'm a metal fan. I've been a metal fan all of my life, but there are a lot of other things that I listen to that influence me that are outside of metal. So just if I was to pick up your phone and if I was to look at your playlists or your musical collection, what's something that's outside of metal that you listen to that influences you a little bit?
Oh, I mean, I could. in my in I listen to everything. One of my absolute favorite artists and has been for a couple of years. It's Beth Carvalho from Brazil, and she sings samba. So this is one artist that I am really much into. Also because I'm trying to learn Portuguese, so another reason. I like Jack Bruce, the ex-Cream
Yep.
vocalist,
Yep.
especially his solo albums. All his solo albums are fucking good, but
Good
especially
stuff.
Out of the Storm from '74, I think it's from. Brilliant. And he has a live performance from Paris in 1990 where it's only him and the piano. That is probably the record that I listened to the most for the last 6 months.
Awesome.
Uh, I almost cry when he plays the songs. So yeah, beautiful. And I'm into progressive rock. I'm into Genesis. I'm into everything 70s and late 60s. I love King Crimson. I uh, I like ABBA. Uh, it's like uh, death penalty if you don't like ABBA in Sweden. So
I was going to
I
say
have to
that
like,
that has to
yeah,
be a directive if you're born there, right?
yeah. But really, when people say that I listen to everything, I actually do. I listen to everything. I listen to black metal, I listen to death metal. Yeah, Opeth. Opeth combines the death metal element with
Yep.
the progressive rock
Yep.
element, which I'm a sucker for,
Yep.
and great lyrics. So everything. And this is what keeps me motivated also to write heavy metal music, not only listening to heavy metal, maybe get some influences elsewhere, trying to keep a fresh mind. And I have the right to speak because I love every style of music, maybe except hip hop. Not my favorite, but I
Same
listen
here.
to hip hop back in the days. I listened to like Snoop Dogg. I can appreciate some old school hip hop as well. Like Snoop Dogg he's a cool guy. I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
He's got an
uh,
interesting reputation. I mean, look, I'm definitely I've been around a long time, and I think I've been through the process of gatekeeping. And the older I get, the more I realize that, people listen to, and there's so much that goes into the influences. You
yeah,
know, you watch the videos that are on the internet, and Dave Grohl talking about the drum move that he has in Smells Like Teen Spirit, and he stole it from the Gap Band. It's like there's all these things where, music in general is a great influence because you can kind of take ideas from different places. Um,
yeah. There is definitely good stuff in every genre. There is
sure,
no question about it, and don't rule out anything until you actually listen to it. But
correct.
there is there is a lot of bullshit. I mean,
Yeah,
in most genres there is a lot of bullshit. But in the traditional heavy metal spectra, there is not a lot of bullshit. I mean,
no,
you find a lot of quality wherever you go, and this is what's interesting about traditional heavy metal.
agreed.
It works all the time, almost all the time. I feel good when I listen to it, so that's why I play this music also because it's my passion.
I think it is truly fascinating how there's a certain aspect of metal that has gone completely underground. There are bands that are doing it DIY, and there is spectacular music that is coming out that is pretty much self-produced by folks, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah,
It comes across great, and there's some incredibly talented people out there that are just making wildly great music that's better than the stuff that's being played commercially.
yeah,
Um, just going back to something that you touched on, I think Prague, you talk about the Prague giants of the 60s and the 70s. Prague is having a renaissance of its own. bands like Elder, even to a certain extent, um, Seven Sisters, the prog
Of
influence to
course.
some of their
Yeah.
music as well.
Uh,
So it's great to see,
and
you know,
his new
bands.
band, there's a new band called, I think, Phantom Spell,
Phantom
that is
Spell. Yep.
also,
Yep.
yeah, I haven't listened to it a lot, but I will dig into it. And we have friends in Sweden that plays in a band called Hellas or
Uh-huh.
Hallas.
Yes. Yeah.
If you haven't listened to them,
Oh, yeah.
they have a nice blend between heavy metal and progressive rock.
I saw Hollis play here for
Oh,
their first show in the United States, or their
oh,
first tour. I think maybe it was the second show that maybe they started
yeah,
in San Diego. Fantastically talented band.
yeah. Amazing guys, good friends of us in Ambush, and amazing musicians. I mean,
No,
and
just absolutely unreal music. That music takes me back. Phantom Spell, I reviewed the new record, um, Heather and Hearth, I think is what it's called. Um,
yeah.
wow, what a masterpiece. Just
Yeah, the talent, lots of talent out there, but unfortunately, a lot of it, as you said, stays a little bit hidden
yeah,
for common people. I mean, it's such a shame. I mean, but I guess it's demand. If it's not in your face, the attention span of the modern person is like 10 seconds and then it's gone. So if you
yep,
don't like a song that you're listening to on Spotify for
hit the
10
button.
seconds, then you're gone.
Yep,
So, and this music that we play is not about that. You need an attention span for maybe at least 20 minutes because that's one side of the LP. So,
sure.
uh, to really appreciate and to grasp what is so magical about heavy metal, you need to have a little bit bigger attention span, I think.
Yeah. I love the fact that that sort of the grandiose nature of what metal is supposed to be about is, bands like you guys are carrying that forward, and that's awesome. So for the rest of 25, it looks like you guys have some tour dates set up that are local to Europe. What are your plans outside of that, or what are your plans in 2026 to continue to get behind this record?
Yeah, so we head out with the Legends in Angel Witch in October. That
Oh,
would be
okay.
amazing. Yeah, so European tour with them. Never met the guys before, so it would be interesting. And then we head out on a South American tour in November for 3 weeks there. And after that, we play one show in Stockholm, and that's it for 2025. 2026 is not booked yet. There is no official dates yet, but I really do hope that we get the chance to come over to United States and play. It's a little bit difficult now regarding
Yeah.
everything. It costs a lot of money. Maybe we are not allowed to get in to United States, so it's so sad for you guys that you miss out on so much culture.
Yep.
But I guess you have very good country musicians over there to keep you satisfied,
I,
and also many good heavy metal bands, of course. So,
no,
but
we
we
need you
hope we can
guys to
come
come
over.
over. I
Yeah,
would absolutely love for you guys to come out here and make a stop here in Los Angeles. That would be great.
would be the dream, man. We played in Chicago long time ago, almost 10 years ago. We played in Chicago at Ragnarocker
Oh yeah.
Fest. Uh, I had great times there.
All right.
So hopefully we can come back.
All right. Well, I know that our time is about up. I'd like to kind of give you the last word. Can you tell me where people can go to find out more about the band? How can they buy your merch, your music? Where's the best place to find all of that information?
Yeah, so you can go to our, if you're a social media addict, you have Facebook or Instagram, um, you will find us there, Ambush Sweden. And we have a link if you want to buy our record, which we recommend. We have a limited vinyl of Even on All Dimensions in purple, and also, of course, in classic black that you can buy. But the purple is limited to our web shop, so and that is going pretty fast. So we're about to get rich bitches. So yeah,
um,
yeah, must hurry up to
it,
buy.
is is your entire catalog available for purchase via your website?
Uh, Most of it is sold out actually, and we're looking into the possibility of reissuing some albums. But you will find maybe something there. Have a look. It's a
Okay.
big cartel page, so
Yeah,
you
I
can buy
saw that you
anything.
guys also have a bunch of shirts
Oh yeah.
available. So lots and lots of merch for people to represent. But the CD or the album actually drops tomorrow, which is September 5th, 2025. So people can look forward to that. But I'm sure you have pre-order or people can get set up from that perspective.
Oh yes, you can buy it, and we'll send it right away.
Well, Oscar, thank you for your time today. I wish you much success and safe travels. And I'm hoping to hear good news about you coming to the United States in 2026, and we can celebrate metal and style. What do you think?
Oh, I think that sounds perfectly, Mark. And thank you for having me. And to your listeners, take care, stay safe, and stay heavy. Uh, Hail
Absolutely.
heavy metal.
Keep it metal.
Yes.